Monday. We have a whole new week ahead of us. It is the beginning of the year, and I'm sure we all have a lot of goals and aspirations. We all set New Year's resolutions, whether we speak out loud about them or just keep them inside. But the hardest part is to stay consistent. So we're going to give you some tips on how to be consistent. In fact, we're going to give you a lot of tips on how to do that. We're all about giving you inspiration on how to eat healthy, how to stay committed to your goals, and how to just be a better version of yourself all month long. We'll keep it going throughout the year. But without further ado, we've got a great show, and you're watching Coastal Living.
Well, hey everybody, I'm back, and this is part 3, and as part of the New Year, New Me mindset, which is something I think we should all strive for, I want to come at you with an idea that doesn't seem to fit over the last generation or so, and that's point-blank honesty. And I think just injecting a little bit of truth will help you out. So here's my New Year's contribution. Your body happens in the kitchen, not the gym. Yes, exercise is the fun part. You know me, I love to go to the gym. I love to run. I love zany and wild workouts. It just makes my brain happy and it makes my body feel good. It's the fun part of health. However, I will never have abs based on my workouts. And I think as Americans, we tend to think that our body is like 50-50, that half of healthy is workout and the other half is diet. Now, as a sports-based chiropractor, personal trainer, author, and speaker at the national level, I will tell you the truth. It's about 99.8 diet. And don't let the commercials, social media posts, and fit-looking people lie to you anymore. You cannot work your way out past a subpar diet. You have to fix this, and you have to stop lying to yourself if you really want to see results. So, just like finding a workout that you can stick with, be honest with yourself about diet. What is a plan that you can honestly enjoy and stay with? Not a fad, not something extreme, and probably just don't call it diet. How about reality? How do I like to eat? For instance, mine would look something like this. I tend to eat healthy most of the time. I just like it better. But I do not like eating breakfast in the morning. It makes me feel terrible, and occasionally I'm going to want to indulge. Maybe 2 to 3 times a week, I'm going to want to have a big meal that I don't want to think about the health benefits with. I want something that tastes good, and I'm in a hurry because I have like 16 basketball games to get to. But I'm very true to myself that the other 20 meals or so that I have per week are built with a very specific intent of maximizing my gut health, therefore my hormone levels. I like to eat this way, and over the course of 2 to 3 years, I have figured out what works best for me, and I'm always playing around with what does not. I don't punish myself or feel guilty when I do indulge, but I'm real about it. I don't indulge once a day, nor do I eat 15 terrible meals in a row and then give up, because I really don't have a plan. I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I'm truthful to myself. That's reality. That's something I can stick with. It's not a fad diet and not something that has a bunch of set rules like keto or intermittent fasting. Although, personally, these were the keys to me experimenting and figure it out. I've tried them all and I know what I like and what I don't. This isn't like the first 2 segments I did with you to start the new year out on a high note. This one takes constant experimentation and paying attention. But you will get consistent and you will get better at it. And you will see results that are not temporary and a flash in the pan. Experimenting with what works for you is real. And no doctor, trainer, or internet celebrity or diet expert is going to fix this for you. It has to come from you. Diet. What can you honestly stick with? This has to be a part of your plan this year, or again, you're doomed to failure. By all means, work out. It is great for you and it makes you a better human being. It has about 1 million health factors. And if you come to me and you say you're going to drop 20 pounds this year by running, I'm going to say the reality is that's not how science works. Your ability to control your weight almost happens entirely in the kitchen. Fix this and get you the life that you deserve and want.
A new you in the new year. But if you keep making the same resolutions without results, you're not alone.
Research indicates that year after year, people tend to set the same exact goal. And this really shows that there is a gap between what we want and what we do.
Psychologist Susan Albers with Cleveland Clinic says there are simple ways to set yourself up for success in 2025 when setting resolutions. Be specific and realistic. Instead of saying be more active, set a goal of working out a certain number of days a week for a specific amount of time. Next, she says to try habit stacking. Pairing two habits together can help keep those behaviors going.
So, for example, if you drink your cup of coffee every morning routinely, and you want to start getting moving and exercising, that very next behavior after you have your cup of coffee, maybe go for a walk, do some stretches, do some yoga.
Albert says to also focus on process goals, not outcome goals. For instance, aim to eat a serving of veggies with each meal rather than to lose 20 pounds. And practice self-compassion. She says it'll help you bounce back from setbacks. And get support. Sharing goals with others can help you reach them. Finally, stay on top of your progress.
When we write down what we are working on, research indicates that this significantly helps us to keep on track.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It's only a few days into the new year, and we're already getting emails asking if we have any good ideas for dinner recipes that are healthy and that taste great. So today, we're making an easy version of eggplant parmesan that will help you stick to your New Year's resolution and that will make your taste buds very happy. We start by cutting some eggplant into slices. I like to leave the skin on, but that's up to you. Then we bread them by dipping them in some flour, then into a couple of beaten eggs before finishing them off in a combo of breadcrumbs, parmesan, and oregano. Now, instead of frying these like normal, which can be a real mess, we place them on a baking sheet that we sprayed with cooking spray. And before you put the cooking spray away, make sure you spritz them again before popping them in the oven. That's gonna help them crisp up. Once they're crispy, spoon on some spaghetti sauce and sprinkle them with a little mozzarella, and back into the oven they go until the cheese is all melty. Serve these up with a salad and get ready for a super quick dinner that not only tastes amazing, it'll fill you up, not out. I sure hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our baked eggplant parmigiana so you'll be armed with a recipe that's perfect when you crave great taste without all the guilt. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a guilt-free way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Hi, this is Dr. Ron Guevara at Texas Family Wellness Clinic, here with our health and wellness segment, and again today with our registered dietitian, Mrs. Kate Hilliard. So today we're talking about one of the things that we talk about a lot in clinic, and that is having a healthy diet. And you know, honestly, I'll have to tell you and admit to you that when I was in medical school, we didn't learn a lot about how to direct patients on what a healthy diet was. So I think it starts essentially by, you know, when you go to the grocery store, knowing how to read those food labels, and that is where Kate excels. She's an expert.
Yeah, definitely. So what I teach patients, when they meet with me at the clinic is looking at a food label. Seems so basic, but when you're in front of that information, it's just like, how do I decode it? And so the basic three things I tell them to look for are the three S's. So sugar, mainly added sugars, sodium, and saturated fat. And so keeping those under 20% of a daily value is a great place to start. And so we always look at what they're eating, looking at labels with it, and making sure that they're staying, keeping those three S's, a lot lower, because calories don't really mean much, honestly. We could be eating 300 calories of Snickers and sodas, or 300 calories of chicken with broccoli and rice, and so it really has to come from, okay, what is in this food, and looking at the ingredients as well, for those things like added sodium, added sugar, different kinds of fats. And so, yeah, that's one thing that I love to go over with the patient, is definitely looking at that label.
Great. One of the things that my wife taught me is creating a list when you go grocery shopping and not just going down the aisles and picking the things that you want as you're going down. So that's really helped me when I have to go grocery shopping on my own to stay out of those aisles and just stick to the list.
Yeah, preventing those impulse buys
Right,
is really
so,
important.
Yeah, super important. So
yeah, well, and really our culture is a culture of convenience, and so you really do have to plan to eat healthy, and that's where when you go into the grocery store, you know, I love meal planning with people because we would used to say shop the perimeter, and really that just means that you're looking for whole foods. You're not looking for the middle aisle process, can stay on a shelf for years on end. You know, you want the natural veggies, fruits. I mean, even frozen works just as well, and that's what I love to do is with a mom, you know, planning for their kids and that busy lifestyle is still creating meals that are 30, you know, minutes or less that are still healthy and can still, you know, taste great, because healthy food can taste good. I'm still a proponent of that.
Right, it's going to be great when we can make broccoli taste like Oreo cookies. I'm waiting for that day. So, but yeah, absolutely. So give us some tips on how to make those foods taste better.
Definitely. So using texture is one of the things too. So not just the steamy, soft, mushy broccoli, but actually being able to, you know, you can air fry it. You can add things like almonds or sunflower seeds that give it a nice crunch. I love using lemon juice as well, especially in my salads. My vinaigrettes, there's just olive oil, lemon juice, and garlic, and that's my dressing. You can also obviously use fresh herbs and, you know, even dried herbs to really bump up the flavor. So it can taste good. Vegetables can taste great.
Well, come see us at Texas Family Wellness Clinic to learn more about how you can improve your diet. Have a happy holiday season.
Health and Wellness with Dr. Guevara is paid for by Texas Family Wellness Clinic.
We're off to a great start, but don't go anywhere. Another thing you want to be on the lookout for, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, are money scams, especially with some of these money apps. So we're going to give you some details on what to look out for and how to avoid these types of scams, plus so much more. So stay with us. We'll be back on Coastal Living.
Shopping season may be over, but scammers are still on the job. They're finding new ways to trick you into sharing your username and password with them. Now, companies that develop these apps and even the government are warning consumers on what to do to avoid becoming a victim. Scammers are finding newer and more believable ways to get their hands on your money, and they're using popular cash-sharing apps like Venmo or PayPal. According to the Federal Trade Commission, whenever there's an online data breach, fraudsters are in line to buy people's usernames and passwords. They then try their luck at using those credentials to log into your cash-sharing apps where you may be storing money. Personal finance expert Jenny Groberg says hackers sometimes use technology to guess your passwords.
And it just keeps going through the code in minutes. It can use your login or your ID and just try different passwords. So the likelihood of the code being able to crack your password is probably very high.
And in some instances where the apps may prompt you to change your password because of suspected fraud, the scammers may try to beat you to it by calling you from untraceable 800 numbers in an attempt to get you to punch in the security reset code.
Press 1 for assistance.
Turns out what many people are now experiencing is a pretty typical fraud attack, something the FBI says has been growing exponentially. Reported cases of online fraud have nearly doubled since 2019, and the money lost has almost quadrupled to $12.5 billion last year. One of the fastest growing scams, people impersonating tech support, up 175%. So what can you do to protect your money? The Federal Trade Commission says consumers should set up two-step authentication. This means no one will be able to reset your login without a unique code that's sent directly to you. Cash sharing apps like PayPal and Venmo remind their customers that they should never share that code with anyone else, even if they call you and ask for it. They also warn customers not to fall for messages like this that appear to be coming directly from companies giving good faith advice. A message the Better Business Bureau is also reiterating.
It all comes back to the good old-fashioned impersonation scam. They're using big company names of apps we use every day, products we use every day, retailers we shop at every day to confuse the consumer into giving up information. So it's really important to look at the app, understand like, hey, did I sign up for text message alerts?
If a scammer tried logging into your accounts, the companies that run those apps may likely send you an email alert to set your password. Check your junk mail regularly because sometimes those important notifications can end up in spam. And always try to reset passwords on secure websites instead of following a link that someone may have sent you.
More and more events that are catering, rightfully so, to people in our community with special needs. And I am so excited to introduce George with the All-Star Show to talk about the opportunities for them to engage with livestock in the agriculture chapter and to get that experience, which I'm excited for you to talk about. So first, tell us, what is the All-Star Show?
So the All-Star Show is a show for kids with special needs. It's something that they can dip their toes in if they want to experiment and eventually do the livestock show for Nueces County. It's not just for them where they have to show in that. They can show in Nueces County and Junior Livestock Show at any time they want. And I think it's cool that we are able to have it in a controlled environment and give them a good experience of what they can do by themselves, and that they're able to show animals to the best of the abilities of anybody else and are really able to put their experience out there and be able to figure out what they want. And if they like it, they'll do it again. And if they don't, it's okay. That's them and they like it.
I'm sure this is such a relief for the parents too, because they may be limited in their education on what resources are even out there. So I'm glad we have a platform to share this. Now, you mentioned they're just kind of getting their feet wet, which is great because, you know, different strokes for different folks. But if this is something they love, you mentioned that they can pursue this a little bit more aggressively. So what success have you seen, and what is your why when it comes to helping these children gain this experience?
So my why for helping kids gain this experience is, when I was younger, I really wanted to just be the best showman I could be. So whether I'm helping a peewee showman out or helping one of these kids out or a senior showman, the most that I can do for them is help them grow as a person. And being able to do that is just really fulfilling for me.
Very, very cool. We can tell it's all from the heart, and there's nothing more beautiful that can come from anyone when their why is exactly where it should be. So your purpose is wonderful and beautiful, and you're changing these children's lives. So let's go over the details before we run out of time on the All-Star Show. How can we witness and how can we participate if we're interested?
Yes, ma'am. So the All-Star Show takes place right after the Market Goat Show on January 15th around 4 o'clock. Well, like I said, right after the goat show. And we encourage everybody just to come out and support the kids, cheer them on. The deadline for exhibitors is December 31st. But if you can't make it out and just want to show your support to the community, that's totally fine. We have cheer sections. It's kind of cool just to show your support.
Well, you've been in there, right? And we were talking before the interview about how you put your game face on when you're in there, and you're noticing the same thing in some of these students, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. And again, it really does take just getting over that little hump of fear or uncertainty to dive into something and discover a potential passion. So it's so great that you're doing this for the children. For anyone who needs more information on getting involved or supporting, how can we get in touch with you?
So they can go to the NCJLS website, and that will give them all the information. We also have a Facebook page for the Nueces County All-Star Show, and that gives them the PDF where the exhibitors can sign up, like I said, before the 31st. And we really want to push having more exhibitors this year than ever, and hopefully in years to come we'll have growing numbers that reach the roof.
I love it. Well, I think it's going to go there for sure. It sounds like you all have huge plans to continue to grow and help these children fulfill their dreams in livestock and agriculture, which is so exciting. So thank you for everything you're doing to make a difference in these children's lives.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me on here.
Of course.
Interested in growing your business? Coastal Living can help. Email us at advertise@coastallivingtv.com or scan the QR code on your screen for more information.
Well, that's a wrap for us on today's show. We hope you feel like you're set up for success and really inspired and motivated for the week. And if there's more things that you want to hear about here on the show, please reach out to us at Coastal Living TV on Facebook and Instagram. We are on the other side of the computer. We love reading your messages and engaging with you all. Also, if you or someone you know would like to be featured on the show, you can reach out to us at info@coastallivingtv.com. Tomorrow, we're going to share a delicious ceviche recipe. I'm a big fan of ceviche. You can customize this. It's fresh, it's healthy, and it's so delicious. We have that and so much more on tomorrow's show. So for now, have a great day, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.